All right. Welcome back to capitalcompetent.com. It's been a while. This is not a 1K to 10K challenge update. That portfolio actually hit $10,000. Okay? And I know you're thinking, where is it? Well, it's gone. And I got a little story for you. I had a lot of things happen in the past couple months. Number one, big one, got engaged. I took a huge trip to Europe with my girlfriend. Popped the question. Um, Incredibly expensive, turns out, to get engaged. Ring, trip, flights. Went to 4 countries in Europe. Proposed in Lake Como. Incredibly expensive. It hit $10,000 while I was over there. And I did not budget properly. So I actually had to take some from that. And I ended up taking everything out of it to pay for the uh, Europe trip and the ring and the engagement and everything. Um, but we're back. So I have two options. I hit a big win this week in my big portfolio, and I wanted to share that with you guys. But I wanted to ask, do you want to know? I could do another 1K to 10K challenge, okay, with different strategies. Obviously, it's a different market now than it was back then. Or I can give you this raw portfolio, not something that these big YouTubers do where they have positions they've been holding on for 5 years and it's up 100%, and then they kind of make it seem like they did it overnight, but it takes years. Or I can show you this raw portfolio of something that I actively trade in with mistakes and everything. I think that's valuable, and I'm going to share that with you. This account's all-time high was $82,000. I've taken money out, I've lost money, I've gained money, but what really inspired me to share this with you, okay, I'll skip over the where I've been. I think I already got into that. As I had a huge win last week with the Tesla put, made $4,000 in a week. It was pretty much at 5,600 the whole time Tesla was trading at that 420 level. Fell to 300, made 4,000 in a week. And then I put that money straight into another trade that went up $3,000 in a week. So I've essentially made eight in about two weeks. And I was sitting there and I was like, why am I not sharing this? Not only my wins, but my losses. You can see a real portfolio with a good amount of money. This is real money that you can take out. I've used this. I've taken money out to buy a house. Okay. But this is real money that I use. Okay. And I'm going to explain to you my strategy. You're going to see wins, you're going to see losses, you're going to see things that don't make sense. The difference between this portfolio and the 1K to 10K portfolio is the 1K 10K portfolio was structured. Okay, that one, that's like a Roth IRA retirement. That's something where there was huge amount of structure to it, and it was essentially like my Roth IRA. Okay, and that has a good amount of money in it. That I think that has like 30K right now. But this is my brokerage. This is my big boy where I trade and I try and make some money. It's like a mix of growth and trading at the same. It's a myth of consistently selling options, all that good stuff. You ready? Boom. Okay. The big one, the big 6-7. My goal here is to get to 100,000. And this might be a lot. There's a lot going on here. There's a lot of red you can see, and there's a lot of green. Um, but I'll explain to you. There's three um, pillars that I have for this portfolio right now. Okay. And I know you're thinking about the 1K to 10K challenge. Please check that out. If you want to get to this position, I've clearly laid it out in this channel. Please go back and watch the videos. If you are under $1,000, there's nothing the stock market can do for you. I would suggest getting a second job, like bartending. That's what I used to do, bartending or DoorDash. There's so many ways to make money. If you can't make $1,000, that's because you simply don't want to. There's so many ways to make money nowadays. You can make a quick grand in a month extra, putting that aside. Once you get to the 1K, then follow my 10K, 1K to 10K challenge. Really understand the philosophy of how I first started, and then I can get you here where you actually have some capital play with some calls and puts, and I'll explain that. Like for example, here SBY, I used to have 108 shares of SBY, but I had a call option strategy, and it went up so much that it actually sold. And I had a huge influx of cash. Okay, I actually used that to buy Home Depot. And then the exact same thing happened to Home Depot, where I was doing that call strategy, getting income from that. And the same thing happened with gold. But it all started, gold was actually the first thing that I did. I take that back. Gold was my first one when I first was way back then when the account was at $40,000. Or no, I started buying gold puts when it was at like 20, no, it was at $300. It went up, it got called. That was a big part of my run up in this account to begin with. Um, then I moved to SPY. SPY got called, slowly trying to get this back. I didn't have enough to do through a put. I took some money out, actually looking to buy a second home. But there are three companies that I really, really, really like: Uber, Netflix, and Meta. Okay, I'll explain each position to you carefully. Uber. I love Uber. I think Uber is one of the biggest disconnect from um, the value of the stock to the price, the value of the stock to the value of the company. When you're talking, I think Uber's ahead of Tesla in EV in autonomous vehicles. Truly. Sorry about that. My dog likes to bark at people when they walk by. Uh, but Uber has a established network, and it is the leading trade when it comes, or is the leading company when it comes to ride sharing. And I think the step in AV, Uber already has the established network. And I know what you're thinking. They don't have a partner with Waymo anymore. Yeah, but Waymo's revenue that they had, that they built all the way to this point, if you look at that total, that is simply the gain of 1 quarter in Uber. Like Uber is so far ahead when it comes to ride sharing. They dominate. There is no, there's like Lyft is second, but like is Lyft really second? Like, do you understand what I'm saying? So I'm looking to add more of this, and this was a put when it was lower. Quick $200. I'll explain puts and everything later. This was a Tesla one. I thought Tesla might have gone a little bit more of a gamble because I had that $4,000 win. Okay, SPY would love to get that back up to 100. Um, that's a call strategy, which I'll show you down here. Okay. Netflix, it's like a straddle. Okay, I like to straddle the stock. I think Netflix is slowly going to go up over time. I don't think it's going to be a big explosion in one day. Okay, so what I do is I straddle it to create an income. I would love to sell my shares if it went up 10% in a month. Of course. So I sell a call option, and if it doesn't, I keep the income. I would love to buy 100 shares of Netflix if it went down to 66 bucks. So if it does that, I get paid 38. That's $168 I did not have before just waiting a month. Okay, I just sold this one not too long ago, and this one is just about to expire. So I'm about to sell another call when this one expires. It's a great way to make an extra 200, 300 a month just off of the $8,000 here. Now, obviously, if it's bigger, like the SPY, you could make like $1,000 a month on it, which is beautiful. It's like the best thing ever. Then when you go down to Meta, I think Meta right now is 700, $800 stock. I think it got beat up for reasons it should. I think it should have gotten punished a little bit for reasons. But if we're being serious about everything that it does, it has 3.8 billion active users across its platforms. That value is unquestionable, unrivaled. It is simply a cash machine. Of course, they've made mistakes. They've laid off people. They have lawsuits. And when you make money like that, you are a target. They are always going to have that, but they have 3.8 billion people. They put stuff in front of people's faces. The value in that is insane. Also, with the AI labs, they're trying to have their in-house AI to where they don't outsource it at all to any other company. They create their own in-house. That is another huge thing that they create for themselves. I have a huge backing, obviously 30% of the portfolio, which would have gone to SPY, but I just think this is such a good opportunity to make a relatively quick $10,000. Now, does that mean you go do it? Absolutely not. This is something that I spent so much time thinking about, and I'm already up 3,500, looking for it to go the price of the option to go to 30, and I'm exiting at 30. I don't play around with calls that much unless they're cheap like this, where I don't care really if it is this much risk. Okay, I want to hit my target in a certain amount of time or I'm out. So I'm looking to get this to 10. Hopefully that pushes this to about 74,000. Then 100,000 is looking a lot more easier. Okay, really excited about this one. Really, really excited. And it's cool because I'm like checking my phone again. Like I'm back in that mode where like, oh, what's Meta's price at? What's Meta? Like it gets me engaged. I love it. Intel put risky little quick cash grab I tried to go for. I thought the margin compression on Intel, obviously the government deals and everything. I thought the politics of it would have a, sway in it, a lot more volatile. Just kept going straight up. Only going to lose $200 on it. Still have 135. I can exit whenever. Could make some money. Got 135 days. Really just sitting there. Home Depot. This is a result of a call. Um, I was selling calls on this stock. I think I bought it around 300, the call was at 320 or something. So obviously it called the shares away. I had 102, or I had 100. No, I think I had 100. No, I had 101 something. It got called away, so I was left with my two and got paid for that. Keeping it because I like Home Depot. Okay, I think it's a good stable company. It's not going to make you $1 billion in a day, but it's a good place to park your cash. Obviously got a good dividend yield, up 11%. Don't need the $700, so I'll keep it. Gold was the first stock that I did this strategy of straddling, where I did puts and calls. Obviously, gold exploded, crazy, took me out of that. Still have these three here. Um, Not really following the 1K to 10K in this portfolio, which is funny, but you see how this has evolved over time. This is where I evolve my strategy. This is where I make mistakes, and I get truly punished if I truly mess up. I can lose all this money. Okay, I could lose everything. Okay, but this is how you learn. Salesforce, I bought this one about 178. Okay, and I had a lot more. I've actually been trimming. I had about 100 shares at one point. I was selling puts on it. And I got bought into at 100. It went up. I wanted to exit. I still like it, but I want to trim it down to about 5% of my portfolio. Nothing crazy. 5%. I think that's a good little portion for this. I don't think it's going to go exploding back up. I think it's going to stay about the same for a while until they kind of turn around and really change the sentiment of the stock. Obviously, they got to compete with AI. I think they will do fine, but that's going to be turnaround sentiment. Look at bonds. I think about bonds. Safety net pays cash consistently, reinvest into it, just moving on from there. So what I really want to do with this portfolio is I want to get it to 100,000. I want to show you raw, real portfolio. This 5% total unrealized gain, this isn't something that happened in a year. Like 2 weeks ago, this had nothing because I sold my Tesla put and it was nothing. This 5% gain is truly from the Meta call here. Okay. And you can see a raw portfolio where money's coming in, money's coming out. You can see what's going on. Really, all that good stuff when it comes to um, investing. Okay. And I can back it up with a consistent one. You can see how I'm doing. You can see my big wins and all that good stuff. Kind of pick my brain. I really want to create a community, okay, of like-minded individuals who really enjoy this stuff and want to bounce ideas off each other. And I also want to teach. Like I want more people to be interactive like this and really, really not in it for the money because they enjoy it. They enjoy the the opinion of it, the conversation of it. Like, oh, I think Meta's going to do great. Oh yeah, why do you think Meta's going to do great? And then it's even better when you agree with someone. Okay. So if that sounds appealing to you, join the community. Hit subscribe. Let's hit 100 subscribers. I know I think 30 right now. I lost some in my absence. That's completely on me. But I really want to reactivate this channel and get it going from there. So if you like the sound of that, hit subscribe button. I'm excited for the future, and let's keep this rolling. Let's keep this rolling. Thanks. I'll see you next video.